What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new season of Healthy-ish with Nutrishmish. And I'm really excited to announce to you that we're going to be posting a new episode, dropping a new episode, posting or dropping a new episode, whatever you want to call it. Every week, we're going to be posting 4 times a month on Tuesdays. So make sure that you are subscribed so you never miss an episode where I'm going to be telling you how to live your healthiest life. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle. I am the founder and CEO and coordinator of chaos of Nutrishmish, and we help people get into good eating habits long term. We have an 85% long-term success rate for eating habits. We basically took all the misery out of dieting, and we just show people how to find the right style of eating for them. Which brings me to today's episode, because part of what makes Nutrishmish so successful, I've realized, is that we make the process of weight loss enjoyable. Like, dieting itself kind of sucks, right? We don't diet. We just have a way of optimizing people's eating habits in a way where they see results, but you also don't hate your life and you can live your life. So, and that's why it works, because it feels good to people. I have always struggled with getting into an exercise routine. I've never liked it. I've always forced myself to do it. And the past year and a half, I've really tried to figure it out. Why do I hate this so much? I'm in the health and wellness space. I know the benefits more than most people, but for some reason I'm the first person to have all these excuses as to why I'm not doing it. So I've really tried. I made it instead of making my goal, well, I'm just gonna exercise every day or whatever, I said to myself, I'm gonna find a way to actually exercise this year. That was my goal. So all of my actions were aligned with that goal and nothing else. And I feel like I've done it. This is the most consistent I've ever been with exercise. And I want to pass this along to you guys, what I found works and what I found definitely doesn't work, because I'm sure this is something that a lot of people have struggled with or maybe are struggling with, where you're in a routine and you're out of routine, or when you're doing it, you feel like you're forcing yourself to. It's almost like sometimes it's a punishment for something you ate, which is a terrible kind of way to go about it, or it's for something that you're not going to get an instant gratification from, such as weight loss. We've all done it, right? We've all gone to the gym and done a workout or worked out every day for a couple of days and then gotten on the scale and we're like, what the hell? And the reason is because it doesn't work like that. Weight loss doesn't work like that, which is a whole other episode. But still, we want to see the efforts for our results, and a lot of times we're doing it for weight loss, and when we don't see it, it gets discouraging. So I wanted to share with you what I have found has worked really, really well, what absolutely didn't work. I have 5 amazing tips here, and I want you guys to try them and get back to me and let me know if this works for you, because we all should be that person that works out. We all want to be that person. So this is how you become that person. And these are in no particular order, but I think the last one is my favorite. But the first tip is that every little bit counts. It doesn't matter how long you're exercising for, especially if you're just starting to get into a routine. Every little bit counts. There was a rumor going on, or people would ask me for a while, I don't know if people still think this, but they would, I don't know, there was something going around where people were thinking that well, you don't really burn anything until you're at least 15 minutes in or 20 minutes in or 30 minutes in. That's not true at all. Your body has no idea what you're doing. It just knows you're burning more energy or less energy, and it's going to respond accordingly. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that you're doing something for 15 minutes a day, which you might be like, well, what's the point of 15 minutes a day? There's a big point to it, because if your option is 15 minutes or nothing, which we can all find 15 minutes in our day, it could be a 15-minute Peloton class if you have a Peloton, which that's no joke. It could also be a walk around the block. It could be 15 minutes of a 15-minute YouTube video of something. It could be 15 minutes of anything. But let's say it was between 15 minutes or nothing. So if you just, for example, did 15 minutes a day, that's about 2 hours of activity that you weren't getting in before at the end of the week. And that's going to add up pretty quickly. The other benefit to it is with exercise, at least this was true for me, and it's true for a lot of people that I talk to, we kind of get in these habits of doing nothing and then doing something. If you have these little kind of pockets of things that you could fit in no matter what's going on, it's not hard to go from a 15-minute workout to a half-hour workout, but it's sometimes hard to go from nothing to something. So it just kind of keeps you in the routine of it, but then also you're still getting, let's just say 15 minutes of activity, and that's almost 2 hours at the end of the week. And not that I necessarily want you doing this for calories, but if we want to talk calories, let's just say, for argument's sake, in that 15 minutes, let's just say you burn 100 calories. If you're burning 700 calories a week extra, that's a free bottle of wine if we want to get specific with it. So, hey, if I'm speaking your language, let me know. So I think, a good way of thinking about it is, instead of like, a lot of times people go into these things with like the traditional like SMART goals, which are very specific. Like, I'm going to work out for 30 minutes, 4 days a week. But sometimes that sets us up for failure, because if we don't have 30 minutes, 4 days a week, or we don't feel like it, we failed that week then, and that creates negative momentum, versus just saying to yourself, I exercise most days a week, or my goal is to be an active person. Like, then these little pockets of time are more in line with that. And I'm telling you, they add up really quickly. So every little bit counts. Number 2, find your exercise style. Figure out what's going to work for you, either what you love the most, or if nothing else, what you hate the least. So this will look like a couple of things. Do you prefer indoors or outdoors? And if you don't have a preference, that's okay. Do you prefer morning or nighttime? I personally prefer morning, which I never thought I would prefer morning, but I do, because at nighttime I'm just like tired at this point in my life. And this might change, depending on what you have going on in your life. But, for me, I enjoy the morning more. At one point in my life, I definitely enjoyed after work more. So again, this might change this dynamic, but figure out what your style is. So do you prefer outdoors or indoors? Do you prefer morning or evening? Do you prefer a group situation, or do you prefer one-on-one? Do you like being told what to do, or do you like just doing your own thing? So if you prefer a group situation, classes might be great for you. If you prefer one-on-one, maybe a personal trainer or something like that would be great for you. Or like getting like a YouTube video and like following along with a YouTube video. There's a million free videos and resources out there now. You could just go on YouTube, type in 15-minute workout, cute trainer, no equipment, some equipment, whatever equipment, and you'll find a million things. But figure out what kind of style you like. So I would say figure out, what you have a preference for, AM or PM, indoors or outdoors, group situation or solo. Do you like being told what to do or not being told what to do? Do you like having a friend for accountability? Do you like things that are more intense? Like, some people like feel like they need to be sweating, like more of like a HIIT workout, or maybe something more like a Peloton or like a run, versus sometimes people just like more kind of chill workouts. Like, they like more, and by chill it's still challenging, but like maybe things that maybe won't spike their cortisol as much. Like, they like going for a walk, or maybe they enjoy like Pilates more, or yoga, or something like that. So just kind of figure out what your style is, what you like. And again, this might change throughout time, but figure out right now what sounds the best to you, and then set yourself up for that, because part of making this a habit is that you actually are enjoying the process. Number 3, do not do this for weight loss, for a lot of reasons. But here's the deal. There's 1.5 million benefits to exercise. It helps trigger a dopamine response. So it helps battle like depression. It helps make you feel good. It helps your heart. It helps your muscles. It helps your entire body function more efficiently. It helps your heart, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, like literally everything. Weight loss is not necessarily the most impactful benefit. Number 1 is that there are 3,500 calories in a pound of fat, right? So like, you'd have to be exercising a lot to see 1 pound lost just through fat. We could do a lot more damage through the nutrition side. And listen, yes, will you lose some weight through exercise? Of course. Will you tone up? Of course. Will you put on muscle? Yes. But weight loss, you don't see as much as you think you're going to see, especially if that's your sole reason for doing it. The bigger reason, I think, is that we are so used to seeing instant gratification, especially nowadays. And there is no world in which you're going to do any kind of exercise and get on the scale and see a result. If you are, wrestlers can do it. They can, they can manipulate their water weight, right? But you can't lose body fat in a day. It's kind of impossible. It does take 6 to 8 days to actually see fat loss happening. But again, we're so used to seeing that instant gratification that if you're like doing all of this work and then you hop on the scale and you're like, what the hell? You're just going to get really frustrated and be like, well, what's the point of this? And also, like, we want this to be a lifelong thing for you. Your body needs exercise your entire life. Your body needs to be moved your entire life. If you have a really great car and you haven't turned it on in a year, it's not going to drive very well. It's not going to drive very efficiently, right? So we need you to do this your whole life. And if the sole reason you're doing it is for weight loss, well, let's say you're at your weight loss goal. Are you going to stop doing it? No, remember, your goal is to get in the habit of exercise. Your goal is to be the kind of person that's always active in some capacity. So doing it for weight loss, in my experience, and I'm not getting on my high horse here. I've done it for weight loss for the majority of my life, and the majority of my life, it's let me down. So learn from my mistakes, if nothing else. Exercise has 1.5 million benefits. Weight loss is not the most impactful one. So don't do it for weight loss. You're just going to kind of be disappointed, but focus on any of the other 1.5 million benefits that comes along with it. All right, we have 2 more really great tips here. But before we get into the last two, this episode of Healthiest with Nutrishmish is brought to you by Nutrishmish's signature program, Eat Right, Live Right program. This program has helped over 10,000 people not only lose weight, but actually keep it off. We optimize your eating habits. We don't just manipulate your weight, and we help you find an eating philosophy that's going to get you the results that you want, but more importantly, is something that you can stick to for the rest of your life. We have had so much incredible success. We have taken people who were chronic dieters and actually gotten them to their goal, and they've been there for years and years. And we want to do that for you too. The diet industry has really messed us up in terms of what we're expecting as far as weight loss goals or weight manipulation and our relationship with food. So this whole program is really designed to repair that so that you are in a position where you just eat well and it's just something that you do naturally, just like showering or brushing your teeth. And we have had so much success with it. The program is going to be 10 years old this year, and we are finally virtual, so we can bring this program now out to everybody who needs it. So in the show notes, you will see a link to sign up. You can also go to nutrishmish.com/sign up. That's NUTRISHMISH/sign up. Okay, so tip number 4, either this one or not, the next one is my favorite, but this one's a close one. So this helped me so much, especially in the beginning. Pair your exercise with something fun if you can. So I don't know if you guys know about me. I am a Bravo junkie. I'm a reality TV junkie. Anything trashy, anything reality, I live for it. If I had another career, it would be something in that field, doing something with it. Andy Cohen, call me, love it. So because I love it so much, right? But I'm busy, I didn't always have the time. Sometimes I'd feel guilty. I would pick a show, right? So let's say it was Housewives of New Jersey, right? I'm from Jersey, so have a soft spot for that. Let's say it was Housewives of New Jersey. I would only let myself watch Housewives of New Jersey while I was on the treadmill, while I was on the elliptical, while I was doing something. And that really made it so that I wanted to exercise, not so much in the beginning for the exercise, but so I could catch up on my show, So if you want to pick a show and only let yourself watch it maybe while you're doing cardio, or if you have a really great podcast that you love listening to, or if you don't find one that you love listening to, and listen to it while you're doing something, or audiobooks, right? I really do love reading, but I don't know, I just feel I can't be productive when I'm reading because I'm sitting there reading something. But audiobooks are great. So you could download Audible, and they have every audiobook you could possibly want. So pair it with something fun. It could also be pairing it with seeing a friend, next time your friend's hey, let's catch up, let's grab lunch, let's grab a coffee. Why don't you be hey, let's go for a walk, or let's go for a hike, or why don't you join me at the gym? I have a buddy pass or something like that. Pair it with something fun because it will start to become all about that thing. The other thing I love to do is I love to mindlessly scroll on TikTok because I don't know why, I just love it. So, even if I'm doing something like a light walk, let's just say I'm all right, I don't feel like doing a full on anything today, but I want to just do something. So I'll get on the treadmill and I'll let myself scroll through TikTok and watch all the stuff that I would have just watched in my bed, but I'll just watch it there. So something like that you can do. So if you compare the exercise or the activity with something fun, and bonus points if it's something that you only let yourself do while you're exercising. Your brain will start to make the correlation of, oh my God, we really like this. We really enjoy this because I get to listen to my book or listen to that podcast or watch that show that I love to watch. So next time, instead of binge watching that Netflix show, save it. See if you could save it and really just only watch it while you're exercising. Pick one show or one thing that you do that with, and your brain will really start to have a strong favorability towards exercising because it starts associating it with that thing that you already really like doing. That was a huge game changer for me once I started doing that in the beginning. And last tip, and I think this one's really important, but really pay attention to how you feel afterwards, because I used to always pay attention to how I felt before. I don't really want to do it. It's work. I have all this other stuff to do, blah, blah, blah. I could talk myself out of it in 2 seconds. And then someone pointed out to me that on the days that I did it, I was a lot more productive. I was in a way better headspace. My mood was so much better. I felt more confident. My self-esteem was higher. My mental health was definitely better. I just started noticing I felt like such more of a badass on the days that I worked out and I did something versus on the days that I didn't. And it really trickled into my whole day, and it really trickled into my productivity. And I really kind of started honing in on that. And I would notice the days that I didn't do it, I just didn't have that same oomph in my day. I didn't have that same like productivity. I just didn't have that same like good feeling about it, you know? So it really helped when I started paying attention to my mood and how it affected my mood. It's kind of similar to like coffee, right? Like people drink coffee in the morning, just for example, because they know it's going to make them feel more focused. It's going to make them feel more awake. It's going to put them in a better mood. They're going to be able to accomplish more. I started noticing similar benefits when I started exercising. Not exactly the same as a coffee, but you know, enough benefits where I was like, wow, this really sets me up well for the day. If you're somebody that likes to do it at night, it could really set you up for your night. It could help make you a little tired. It could help burn up all that like energy that you might have pent up at the end of the day. It might be like something that you're doing self-care wise for yourself. So really pay attention to how you feel afterwards, because the more emphasis you put on the feeling that you get from it, right, rather than the work that it might feel like beforehand, the more likely you are to do it. Because nobody's like, oh my God, I have to drive to Starbucks to get my coffee. They're like, no, I have to drive to Starbucks to get my coffee because I know I'm going to have such a better day. I'm going to be so much more pleasant to be around. I'm going to like feel more productive. Because with the coffee, at least you're focused on the after effect. Start focusing on and paying attention to how you feel after you work out or after you have some kind of activity. The mental health benefits alone are enough to like really motivate you to do this all the time for yourself if you pay attention to them. So that is my fifth and last tip. So just to recap really quickly here, number 1, every little bit counts. Don't just feel like you have to do it for a half hour or an hour or nothing. Any little bit of activity you can get throughout your day helps. It helps develop a routine and you get something for it. Your body will always respond no matter how small it may seem to you. Number 2, find your exercise style. Find what you like to do. Are you an indoor person or an outdoor person? Do you like being told what to do and following something, or do you like not being told what to do and doing things on your own? Do you prefer a group? What do you prefer as far as like the time of day goes? Find the style that you love and just keep in mind that this is dynamic and it could change over time, but figure out what you like right now. Number 3, don't do it for weight loss. There's 1.5 million benefits. Weight loss is not a strong enough one and it doesn't happen right away. So if you're doing it for weight loss, you're going to be disappointed and easily fall out of the routine. Number 4, pair it with something fun. Try to only let yourself do that thing while you're exercising at first, and your brain will start associating with that and really start to like it a lot. So try to pair it with something fun, a podcast, a TV show, a friend, an audiobook, whatever it may be, TikTok, whatever you want it to be. And number 5, really pay attention to how you feel afterwards. Pay attention to that dopamine hit. Pay attention to the mental health benefits. Pay attention to your confidence. Pay attention to your productivity. Again, the more positive things that you start associating exercise to, the more likely you are to be able to form a routine and not be that person that's like in or out of a routine. You'll be that person that always does something. And then you can build on it. But starting somewhere is better than starting nowhere. And I definitely think instead of making your goal to work out X number of times a week, just try to be an active person. Just try to be the kind of person that always gets something in. And that's how you start to, be the kind of person that always exercises. So if this helped you, if this resonated with you, make sure that you rate and subscribe to this podcast so that we can keep putting out content like this to help you be your healthiest self in the most realistic way possible. Well, once again, my name is Michelle from Nutrish Mish, and I will see you next week.